Okay, I'm going to go through how to draw the Geneva Cam and how to do the final drawing. If I stumble for words, uh, forgive me. I do not like shooting videos because I hate hearing myself speak, and a lot of times I don't know, get tongue-tied. But either way, here we go. What I'm going to do is I've already brought in my template, and this is the template that you did a while ago. Mine saved something different, but I've already brought it in. What we're going to do is I'm going to start in model space. And if you're wanting to get your background white like this, now I have turned off my grid. I don't like drawing with a grid on. If you right click over your grid settings, make sure that you have your grid and snap set up the same as in the book. I went ahead and I turned, well, it doesn't matter, I've got mine checked where it doesn't display past the limits, but I've got my grid turned off. My layers are set up the way I have in Blackboard. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we are in construction. And I'm going to start by adding some construction lines. And I'm going to follow through the book to show you step by step on how I would draw the Geneva Cam. I know there are a couple videos on not Blackboard, but on YouTube. There was one that I watched. It was very confusing. So let me find where to start from. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into our layer properties and go to construction, and we're going to add some construction lines. And we're going to start, the book says start at 5, 4, 5, and I'm going to set that at 0 degrees. I'm going to do another one, and you can go at 90. And then you're going to have another one at 30 degrees, so at 230. Alright, hit escape. We'll start drawing the circles on the inside, and they're showing, we'll start the same spot, 5, 4, 5, and we have a radius of 0.75. If you left click, it'll say repeat circle. A lot of times if you enter, it's going to go, it'll repeat circle, but it'll go from radius to diameter. But if you right click, repeat circle, put the coordinates in where you want to start. So the next circle is 1.25. The next circle is a radius of 2. The next circle is a radius of 4. And the final circle has a radius of 4.5. Alright, now I've drawn this in construction. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on my side view here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to offset through. I'm going to take this line, I'm going to go over 8 inches. I'm going to come back to here. I'll offset this one 4. And I'm going to offset this one 4. Then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to offset this one 1/2 inch. And I'm going to come back 1/2 inch. I'll show you what that's for here in just a minute. Alright, so moving on, the first 2 circles it tells us to draw, there's going to be 2 right in here. So go down here and make sure that you have your object snap and your snap tracking on. We're going to go to our object lines. I'm going to pick circle, radius, and we're going to go here, and it has a radius of 1/4 inch. The next circle is showing here, and it has a radius of 1.5. And this is on page 817 in your book. Okay, the next thing we need to do is we are going to draw some lines, and we're going to trim these circles out. So I'm going to go into the line command. Actually, before I do that, I need to offset. we're going to offset through this construction line right here. Pick this one, and we're going to go out a 1/4 inch, and for the drawing it's going to have another offset here of 1/2 inch. So you're going to see both sides. There's going to be construction lines on both sides of that circle. So now we're going to go back into the line command, and we are going to draw a line from here to here, and from here to here. Alright, I'll draw another line from here to here. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to trim. Trim the circle here. Hit escape. Okay. Now we're going to mirror this image here. So go to mirror, and you have to hold down select to pick your items. When you have everything highlighted that you want to mirror, hit enter, and it's going to ask you to pick a midpoint. So I'm going to pick the center point right here, and I'm going to drag my mouse around until it lines up and click. And it's going to ask you, do you want to erase the source? We're going to click no. Alright, we'll go back into trim. I'm going to trim these two lines out right here. And then hit escape. Now we're going to do a polar array. So you go to the top, you see array here. On the drop down menu, go to polar, and we're going to highlight the objects we want to copy in an array. So we'll click, hold down select, pick these objects here. Once we have everything picked, we hit enter. It's going to ask us to pick a center position, so I'm going to pick here. And you do see options up here. We want 6 items, and this was the default setting for mine, and it's the exact same as in the book. So when we scroll out, we've got the outside of our Geneva Cam built for us, so hit escape. Alright, moving on. The next thing we need to do is we need to add the circles inside, and we need to get the keyway. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to offset through. This is on page 823. Our keyway is a width of 360 thousandths. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this. So half of that 360 is 0.18 or 180 thousandths. I'm going to get the center, and we'll put 18. Alright, I'm also going to go to here. If you look at your book, we have 950 thousandths offset through, moving up. Hit escape. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do, we need to draw this circle, and this circle is an object line. So what we're going to do is we're going to go here, center the radius again. Now I'm just going to find the center, and I know that's a radius of 0.75. We will left click, repeat circle, find the center, and this one was 1.25. Escape. I'm going to draw my keyway in now. Go here. I'm going to go up 20 at 90. I'm going to go over 360 at 0. Go down 20 at 90. Hit escape. Trim that out. Alright, the construction lines are to help you draw your component over here. So let's go ahead and draw the outline. So I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to start here. And you can just trace these lines if you want to, or you can do your absolute coordinating. I'm just going to trace them out. Alright, so this is our center line, and we can look at the dimensions on our drawing. We know that there's going to be a diameter from this midpoint that's going to be 2.5 inches. So half of that is 1.25. So my next line, I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go 1.25 at 90 degrees. And I'm going to go a 1/2 inch, 0 degrees, hit escape. Draw my next line, go here, I'm going to go 1.25 at 90, and 1/2 inch at 0. And I'm going to hit escape. Now I'm going to trim these out. We'll have to redraw them here in a minute, but I'm going to go ahead and trim it out for now. And if you look on page 823, you're going to see a radius of 1/4 inch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill it. So I'm going to come up here and click fill it. I'm going to do it by radius. So hit R, enter. So we want 1/4 inch. That's going to ask you to pick the objects. So I'm going to pick this line and this line. It adds my fillet. Hit the space bar to repeat. Come down here and do this. Alright. I'm going to trim again. I'm going to get rid of this line because I'm going to draw over it. According to the drawing, there is another line here. Escape. Alright, let's start adding some construction lines to this. That way we can start drawing in our hidden lines and our center lines. So, first thing I notice here is I've got, this is the top of my keyway, so this is going to be one hidden line. But I need another construction line down here. So do this. I'm going to say at 2. And 0 degrees. Okay, I'll show you what these are for here in a second. We need another construction line here. Alright, I need a construction line coming off of this. Need another construction line here. I can turn ortho on, but I found this to be a little easier. Ortho is easy with this as well. This last construction line right here. Okay, now we can go draw in what all this stuff is. First thing is I'm going to get the object lines, and what this represents is these points on the cam. So my first line is going to be here. My next line will be here. And I'm hitting spacebar in between each one of those. I'll hit spacebar, then escape. Okay, now these are going to be hidden. This is the keyway, and this is the bottom of that center bore. So we're going to go up here, we're going to find our hidden lines, and I'm going to draw a line from here to here, another line from here to here, and one more hidden line down here. Now, if you notice that my hidden lines look differently than yours, if you click and highlight and type in LT scale. This will pop up. Yours will most likely be set to 1.0 and it'll look like that. I like a few more tick marks in mine, so I go LT scale and I do 0.5. Alright, according to the drawing on page 823, these object lines are down here as well. We're going to mirror those. So I'm going to select this line, hold down select, pick them, hit enter, and I'm going to select this as my midpoint, and I'm just going to move my mouse around until I get them dropped in, and click once, and it's going to ask you, do you want to erase the source objects? Click no. Oh, go back. Let me do that again. Let me pick a different center point this time. I'm going to pick out of here. There we go. Click and no. There we go. All right. I'm going to add some dimension lines to this. And I'm going to go here. I'm going to get, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the linear from here to here. It should be 8 inches between, oh, I'm in the wrong layer. Let's go dimensions. Actually, let's go ahead and do center lines first. So type in line. And I'm going to come a little bit past the center line over here. I go to, we'll go through, we'll just trim when we get to the dimensions. Alright, I'm going to do another center line from up here, down, and we need to do one more through here so we can get our angle. Alright, we're done with the center lines. Now we can go ahead and start dimensioning our drawing. Now I do, in my annotative, I have my dimensions set up like this. For my symbols and arrows, I have 1/4 inch. I have my center marks at 62.5 thousandths of an inch. My text is set to 1/8 of an inch. My fit. Now primary units, I've got my precision to 2 decimal points past, or 2 places past the decimal point. So I'm going to hit OK, and I'm going to close that out. But if you haven't got that set up, make sure you set it up that way. Close it out. I'm going to go back to home, and I'm going to do a linear dimension here. I'm also going to do another linear dimension here. We're going to come back and change that here in a minute to show diameter. Got another linear dimension down here. Go up, and I'm going to get radius. Actually, we need to do a couple of different center lines here. I need to do a circle with diameter coming out here at 4 inches. That's diameter, not radius. And then I need to do another one with a radius of 4.5. I'll show you one here in a minute. We escape. Alright, I'm going to go back to my dimensions. I'm going to get the radius of this. I'm also going to get the radius here. I'm going to dimension the radius here. Alright. Set all the radius. Yes. Got 2 more linear that I missed. I've got a linear dimension here to here, and I have a linear dimension here. And then we get the diameters. the diameter of this circle, and we want the diameter of that circle. I'm going to pull the diameter of that right there. Alright, a couple things to make it look nice and neat. Here's what I'm going to do. I am going to draw two lines. I'm going to do a line here, 90 degrees, and I'm also going to do another line back here, 90 degrees. I'll show you why, because I'm going to trim this out, and then I'm going to trim those two lines that I just added away. That way, when I go in here, I'm going to double click on my dimensions, and your text editor opens up. You'll notice that this was just 2.5 inches for a linear. We want to add the diameter symbol there. So we click and hit escape. We'll do the same thing here. Hover over your dimensions, double click, get off that construction line. There we go. Double click, symbol, diameter, and then erase my number so we know it's 8 inches. Alright. I'm going to turn my construction lines off, but before I do that, I'm going to trim this center line circle here and right here. And then I'm going to turn my construction lines off. I'm going to go back to trim, and I'm going to trim this out. Trim this down here too. Alright, let's finish up dimensioning our drawing. I need to get the angle, so I'm going to go up here and I'm going to click angular. I'm going to select this line and this line, then I'm going to pull. I do believe that is all of our dimensions. So now what I want to do is I want to bring this drawing into our template, and I'm going to have a video for that in just a moment.